Welcome to Career Tipper Podcast, hosted by Michelle Beatty. The Career Tipper Podcast is a motivational resource that shares career and entrepreneurial tips by industry experts that will help amazing people evolve to their professional best. And now your host, Michelle Beatty.
Episode 20 of the Career Tipper Podcast is from our archives vault that features Nikole Morrow-Pettus. Nikole is an accomplished and creative celebrity makeup artist with 25 years of experience in media, fashion, and print. She has traveled the globe to exhibit the newest and current looks in hair and makeup. Nikole's work can be seen in magazines such as Allure, Architectural Digest, Southern Living, and Jezebel Magazine. I'm your host, Michelle Beatty, professional development author and coach. Nikole, welcome and thank you for joining the Career Tipper Podcast.
Hi, how are you?
I'm fantastic. Thank you for interviewing with us tonight. I'm excited.
I'm excited too.
Nikole, I appreciate you sharing your time with me to chat about the importance of image and how you help professionals determine or reinvent their image that propels their confidence and how they are viewed by others. So what are a few confidence-boosting thoughts that you keep in mind and share with new and repeat clients during consultation and executing services rendered?
One of the things I make sure they understand once they, when they book with me is usually in regards to their appearance as far as makeup appearance. I can assess their style for clothing when they come see me, and I can adjust their makeup too. So if someone comes in and they're, very, very chic and clean lined and really not a lot of fluff, then I know their makeup's going to be kind of minimal. Everything's going to be kind of a subtle look. If someone has a little bit of flair, then I have to adjust accordingly. So that being said, you have to read people's body language, their look. And I'm not saying judge a person by the cover, so to speak, of the book, but it really kind of is your appearance, your personal presentation is kind of your book cover. And so that being said, I let people understand that when they sit, in my chair and I show them a look that's going to be professional, depending on their job setting, then, we want to kind of evolve that as we get, into the company. If you're, starting off, if you've been there 20 years, if you're a CEO, whatever it is, we have to kind of evolve and make sure you stay current and make sure you say, when you're current, you're confident, because you're not surrounded by people that know more than you in that regard. So, it's really nice to have that type of client, and I've got so many that repeatedly come, every season, if you will, spring, summer, fall, for new things so they can stay current. So that would be my message. Staying current in your appearance really sets you apart from people who, have been in the job for so long, but just they don't think that that's important. And so they don't always have that sharpness.
I love it. I love the refreshing of the book cover.
Mm-hmm.
Update.
I love it, and that's something that I say all the time. I'm like, you don't want to judge a book by its cover, but guess what? Well, we are covers. No one knows the content until they open the book, and really, it's up to you to open the book, and let yourself be seen and heard. But prior to that, when you walk in a room, it's kind of the book cover.
Indeed. You work and have worked with a diverse population of people of all walks of life in professional journeys. What are a few common confidence factors that you see that others may not view or be aware of?
It's just interesting that, as I know this is my 25th year in beauty. I've worked for the company I worked for 21 years. I continue to, travel and work with different salons and models and shoots all over. And what I understand is people really gravitate to the people that have the confidence. And when you have confidence, it doesn't mean that you have to be, gloating or boastful or the loudest person in the room. It's something that you hold that is really almost subtle. It's the way you hold your body, your shoulders back, the way you walk into the room without, not your head down, but your head up, greeting people first. I think that one of the things I noticed with confident people is that they are not bashful and to walk up and greet you first. May it be a crowd of people or one or two persons, because as I feel like as a woman, I think that we, even though we want to say that we're so evolved, it's a thing that we kind of we wait for a gentleman to walk up to us, or we're not. And if we're real aggressive and just walk in and start shaking harsh handshakes and being real confident, then it's almost viewed as a little extra or not natural. So I would say the things I notice more about the people that are very confident in not only my business or any business is the people that have the subtle confidence and subtle, it's not even an ego, just air about themselves that sets them apart.
That's good stuff. That's an awesome share, because sometimes people are not aware that they don't exude confidence. They feel they do, but they don't. And it could be for various reasons, internal, external, but that's an awesome share. So, Nikole, you exude confidence in all that you do and the way that you carry yourself. You're comfortable in your skin, style, and professional expertise. Please share what experiences led you to being confident in yourself, your skills, and abilities.
Well, I have to definitely give all the glory to my mother and father. My mother, especially my mother and grandmother, or the type of women. My mother's still living, so she is the type of woman, and my grandmother was the type of woman that you didn't go to a store. I don't care if it was grocery shopping without putting on a little bit of makeup and a proper outfit. It wasn't your jogging clothes or your house. In the fact of my grandmother, there was no such thing as jogging clothes. So, just like a house coat or anything, you just didn't put anything. You put on proper go to town outfits. And so I was just raised around women who really enjoyed dressing well, and they also enjoyed making their appearance look good. And so it's not about being vain. It's about being appreciative of what you are. You're a beautiful woman, and why not? And this is not to say, I hope none of your audience members would take offense to this, but, what I see daily is comfort comes way before even trying to look appropriate. And, there are times when you just don't feel like you want to throw on something and run to the store quickly. But you know what? 9 times out of 10, that's the day you're going to run into the old friend, or the ex, or the, person that you've heard speak of you badly or whatever. It's always that day. So I always say dress and look as though you're going to be discovered. That's my motto. And I don't care if it's discovered for what. Discovered for TV, discovered for your next job, discovered for having the best shoes, whatever. Street fashion person, whatever. Just dress according to you're always going to be discovered. And then you're never caught off guard. Because, you can be caught off guard, and that's the day you don't feel, you're like, dang, I didn't want to run into that person. I tried to hide behind the chips. But it just won't work. People, I have a distinctive voice, so I have heard many people say, Nikole, is that you? 3 aisles over. And I'm like, yeah, to come around the corner, as a client, of course. Or something, somebody, a client that wants to introduce me to her friend who could be a potential client. What if I look crazy? That potential client doesn't know that I know how to clean up well. She only sees the cover of what I'm presenting at that moment. And I may be in a casual setting, maybe at, whatever store, big box store, and it's not appropriate for me to be glam, but at least I have to look like I tried. And so I want to say my motto is always to look at least halfway decent. if not, I wear a ball gown to the grocery store personally. I don't mind. Like, I love the whole pomp and circumstance around dressing, but for the person who doesn't really enjoy putting all that garb on, do something. Have a section in your wardrobe that is just designated towards run-around clothes, not jogging clothes, not in case I go to the gym clothes. Just your run-around attire that's appropriate in case you run into someone you want, maybe one business from, or maybe you just want to impress.
Very true.
That's my answer.
Well, I like your answer because it is important to not get caught in raised eyebrow moments because of your attire.
Right. That's the truth.
Like, what does she have on?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the thing. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, I have a position in my city in Atlanta that, I've really done really well with getting my name spread. Thank goodness. It took many years, but I can say that people do recognize the name. So when you even have a tad bit of a recognition behind your name, you got to try harder. You got to try harder, because that is those are the moments where you're basically your product. I am makeup. Like, I represent what makeup I do. So if I, don't do something, and I'm not saying I have to look like literally a full face of like reality show makeup every minute of my life, no. But I have to do these small little things before I leave the house, or even when I know I'm going into maybe, I call it, clientele potential, territory, that being my territory where I work. I definitely want to do a little bit more, because I have the ability to make more clients just from being in a casual setting. Now, you have to come see me. If you find my number and you call it and you make an appointment, that's your intent to come see me. But for me to network myself, that means I'm going out into the masses, and that's when I need to put on, what I call it my product. You have to speak your product, and that's makeup. If I sold like gym clothes, then I'd walk around in gym clothes, but I don't.
Very true. And I've seen you in action, and you are like honey. Bees want to be around you. You're magnetizing. Like, when you enter a room and someone sees you, people do want to know, who is that? Oh, that's Nikole, and she does makeup. Like, people want to sit in your chair and play makeup. Like, get down and playful, I should say.
I love it. No, that's my whole intent. My intention is to have that magnetism, and there's something, I feel that there are people who are born with it, the quote, the it quotation marks, and I can say, because I hire a lot of people for my department, and I've done it for over 15 years for my company, I can see it right away, the it factor, if you will. And I can say this person could, they have it. They know, they kind of get it. They understand. People want to know them because they get this really nice swagger about themselves. And then there's some people that have the most amazing talent, but they don't have the it factor. And so those are the people that, they always wonder, why don't people want to know me versus the person that, they feel they may even be more talented than, the it factor people. And it's because you just have to have the it factor. And I don't know if going back to your original question, I don't know if I was raised to have it, because I have a sister, and I have many family members that are all kind of raised in the same way, and only a few kind of have it, and I think we all kind of were born with it or not. And raised exactly the same way, with same, morals, same, standards. But I really think that you kind of come in the world with it. And if you do, then you really need to understand its potential And then understand also that you have to do a little bit more of a humbling behind it, because you don't want it to take its own life and turn into ego or to vanity or to, because that superiority, because that can then take you a whole different place, and then people don't like you anymore. And yeah, you have it, and yeah, you get places, but then you're really not making friends along the way.
And connection is important.
It's so important. So if you have it and you use it for good, and you have the wow factor and people want to know you, but once they get to know you, they're like, you're even more than I thought, because you're nicer and you're willing to help me. And, so it's really something that you really need to take in consideration when it comes to being humble and grateful and have such gratitude for the position you have and position people have put you in. And so, for me, I have to say that, my parents have started it all, but everybody I've ever worked for, I've ever ran into, I've ever got to know, God has put in my life, they all have something in common, and that is they have seen the it factor, but they've taught me more, and they're all, and kind of have the same thread of humility and doing it for the love of what they do.
Well, I noticed on your Instagram feed and other social media feeds that you're always promoting gratefulness in one way or another. Grateful to meet someone, or... Oh, my
gosh. I really wish I could, if I really wasn't so incredibly scared of, changing my mind, I would have a tattoo, my very first tattoo, and it would be grateful. Because I feel gratitude is the key to anything else you ever get. Thing, people, breath, anything you ever get. It comes from being grateful to have it, to have a morsel of it. Then you get more of it. It's literally the soil. Gratitude is the soil that makes everything grow.
That's good, Nikole.
And I mean, I can testify that I have not had the rose bed of life. I've had great parents. I've always say that they're amazing people, and they tried their best to just give me whatever I needed, not monetary things, but just spiritually and all that. But what I've learned, tremendous lessons were, no matter what has happened to me or around me, if I'm just grateful, if I find something to be grateful for, even in the midst of the horrible stuff, then somehow my perspective changes, and somehow my next day is like, all right, I can do this. I can keep going. Everything's going to be great. And it just makes you a better person. So when I don't know, other people have strength as their thing, or courage, or, whatever their thing is. Now, we all have our thing that we just kind of it makes us who we are. Gratitude is my thing.
Well, I like that gratitude is your thing, and you promote it very well. It's definitely always food for thought, reading your posts and just watching how you choose to be grateful for your life. It's very inspiring.
Thank you.
Indeed, you're welcome. I'm also aware that you have a passion for volunteerism. How has taking time to volunteer impacted your life personally and professionally?
Volunteering is so huge, and so part of my gratitude thing, my gratitude journey in life, is to make sure that what has been given to me, may it be things or spiritual uplifts, or just someone to talk to, what has been given to me, I need to also give it away. And in order to give it away is I have to volunteer to give it away, because a lot of people, especially people who don't are not in my world of beauty, don't know to walk up to me and say, oh, there's a person that will be more than happy to help me. So I have to search that out. And so I have a very dear organization that I work with called New Hope Enterprises, and they help. Of course, there's all kinds of either men and women and young and old, but I love the women aspect of it. But they help people get out of situations such as when they foster out of foster care and they're 18, they're no longer welcome into the foster home, and they're kind of just put on the street, so to speak. Mm-hmm. They help those people transition to a adult life and not go to the streets, and hopefully get some like soft skills, hard skills to get into the world of the work field. It doesn't necessarily mean that that's their career, but it helps them understand how to interview with a company, what to wear. And I come in and I talk to them about their personal presentation, how they look when they go, how they hold their head up when they talk to, how they shake the hand, how they're in an interview. Sometimes, especially if it's hospitality, a lot of companies are looking for people in their position that may have had some felons or things on their record. It's usually like hotels that have hospitality, like housekeeping, that kind of thing. So, how do you go through that interview? And it's a group interview. How do you stand out in a group interview and those kind of things? So I volunteer for that organization. And I also volunteer for the Women's Day Shelter in Atlanta. And they, of course, are homeless, but they are able to have a little nursery for, during the day, take their kids so they can go on interviews and they can find jobs and they can, do part-time work. Like someone watches the babies in the nursery, and then there's a clothing closet that I like to contribute all my clothes to that don't fit. Sometimes that happens. And so there's so many things to do in every city. I'm in Atlanta, so I have a few things I know to do, but every city, if you search it, it'll be there. And I just feel like it's my obligation, as a human being, to give to another human being whatever I have. If I don't have the money, then I can give myself. And my profession is makeup, so I don't think that the people that I'm volunteering for care about me knowing how to do a nice face of makeup, but showing up and helping them understand there's a proper look to go to an interview, or just talking to them about, the interviews they've been on. What did they not, what did they feel they did well? How did they feel when they went? If there was insecurities, how to help them through those hurdles, that kind of thing. I can do, because, I also interview, I am the interviewer for interviewees, so I understand the questions that, they're asking and why. So, yes, I feel that is one of the most important things, and that's part of the gratitude that I try to live by.
That's awesome. Nikole, you manage multiple locations and a variety of personalities. Please share what managerial process or technique that has served you well over the years.
Well, over the years it changes, because your employees change. I'm thankful, though, I'm very grateful that I have a very low turnover in my department, so I don't have a lot of change. So the people that work, I wouldn't say for me, I will always like to say with me, they're growing up with me, so I'm able to coach them from, when they're green as can be and new, to very seasoned, and watch their lives, transpire in front of my eyes. Some come, they're single and dating, they get married, I do their wedding, then they have children. So, it's nice to see the process of life happen. So I can say that I have a huge group of girls, and I say huge, I only have 11 people, but, a lot of the percentage of those 11 people are that where I've watched them grow up. So, I would say that what I do say to other mentors and other managers or other people that have are in charge of people is that you have to always be in perspective of what would I do if I were in their situation. And I'm not saying there's negative things, but, things come up in the workplace, and I always want to look at it from a different perspective. I know we have a guideline as managers. I know we have a code according to managers and rules. But I think where I differ from other managers, not just in my company, but just in any company, is that the compassion and empathy that I have for people is there. No one takes my weakness for my compassion for weakness, by no means, but they do understand that they can speak to me and tell me what's going on, not in a human resource situation, but just like, this is where I feel I'm lacking and this is where I need help. Then I love that people come to me, and then I love to have fun. Like, I feel like work can always be fun, no matter how. I mean, you can be an accountant with like just nothing but numbers to look at. Make it fun. You can make everything fun, and so I try to create a atmosphere of fun and openness, and I try my best to listen to them individually. It's like having a lot of children. You know that you try to spread yourself real thin and let everybody know that you care and love them. There's always going to be a few children in the bunch. You're like, you care for them more because I thought you see you love them more. So you always have to give everybody individual. And that's when I call them my one-on-ones. I call them my one-on-one reviews, and what we do in our reviews is we call them hopes and dreams. It's not about reviewing you and saying this is what you are, this is what you've done in numbers, and this is where you need to improve. That's not our reviews. Our reviews are like hopes and dreams. What are your hopes and dreams here at this company? And when we find out what you're hoping for and you're dreaming for, how can I make or help you attain that? And 9 times out of 10, when you just put yourself in like, how can I be a tool to you, then they start to work harder because they know that they have a team trying to create their hope and dream to come true.
That's an awesome perspective. It's just continual. Like you said, it changes faces, but the foundation of that is pretty spot on as far as like keeping the morale high and being in tune. Being in tune, most importantly, to your team is like so important. Know the players in the game. Mm-hmm. You've been fortunate to have traveled to be a part of your professional journey. How has your travel experience shaped your perspective of your industry and how you choose to contribute to society?
Well, I as far as traveling, and being in the business for so long and seeing so many things over the years. In fact, it's interesting to me that some people have to remind me of the things I've done, because at this point, sometimes I wish I had started a journal every single day and wrote down what I did. That's the only way I could remember everything. When I say everything, I have done makeup all over Europe, America, throughout the United States. And so I'm so, so, so grateful that I've had this career thus far. But what I do run into and what I do see that inspires me is, the younger group of people that are in this beauty industry are so, they're not so stodgy, they just go for it. And I don't know if that's the YouTube generation that they get to, look at tutorials before they get to do a real job. So they kind of hone their skills. They didn't have to go to school for it. Then they have the YouTube University. So they get to like play. And I don't know who they're using themselves, if they're sisters and brothers or what. But, they come to the industry with a little bit more confidence and talent and gifts that, we had to kind of like pull out of ourselves 20 years ago. And it was so serious, Through our makeup artists, you are here to make people beautiful and feel good about themselves, but it was just very, very serious. And nowadays, man, it's fun. It's fun stuff. So that's what I've seen in my travels. That's what I run into. I just a breath of fresh air with the newbies in the biz. And the thing about our business, and any business, I'm sure, I don't know. I've not been in another business in so long, but what I think is, as soon as you think that you know it all, you've done it all, you've seen it all, it's the day you should probably retire, because there's no such thing. There's nothing new under the sun, really. I mean, they're just evolving it, but they're putting twists on stuff that you would have never thought. And as long as I'm out there and going, I just love to learn from the younger people. And when I say younger, I'm not talking about chronologically. I'm speaking of like youthfulness in the industry, green, new, zealous, like ready to like hit the pavement. And, I've ran the pavement over and put some potholes in it already. So, I'm like going backwards. Like, I'm going to give me some of that fresh air and let me see what you got going on. Let me learn from you. And that's been amazing. That's really been the fun part of continuing my career at when I say my age, 45 years old, and knowing that I probably got a good, I would say, another 5 to 10 years in me, so we'll see.
It's motivating how you welcome the refresh of the game plan, of the player's book for makeup. Mm-hmm. It's a given. It's a given for the industry because, every season brings something new with Fashion Week and all the different trends and things of that nature. But it's really awesome to hear you be so welcoming of it with your tenure in the industry. Like, you're like, hey, this is fantastic. What can I learn from you? What can I teach you? So it sounds like an awesome give and take.
Yeah, no, it is. I mean, and that's what I said. As soon as you think that you're like you've reached the height and you don't need any inspiration, then you might want to back out, because that means you're not motivated by others anymore. And that's the thing about art. I mean, we're in an art-based field, and it's all in perspective of art. What people find beautiful in what I do, not work for another group of people, and they might just like, she's a little makeup artist, whatever, and they find art in like some kind of crazy abstract avant-garde makeup, and I'm like, whoa, that's a little too much for me. But you know what? Show me how that's done. Show me what it took to do it. I want to know everything about it. Not that I want to replicate it or do it. I just want to know, because ultimately, like I said, it's just art, and art is in the eyes of the beholder, but it's also to be recognized by the masses as art. And that's how I feel about makeup, and people to do it. There's no such thing as just a mediocre makeup artist. If they call themselves that and they love it, there's a client for them. There's a client for them. There's a client for them. And who am I to say that they're not good enough or they're not, ready for it? And that's not my position, because if God put it in your heart to do it, and that you feel like that's your gift, then there's somebody going to sit in your chair. There's somebody going to sit down and let you do it, and they're probably going to pay you some money. So that's how I feel. Like there's more than enough people to go around, and there's more than enough people to continue to do this and grow, and I hope to be always in the business as, if I'm not doing it myself, as some type of cheerleader for everyone, So when I bow out and put the brush down, it's not the end, because I want to always be in some type of contribution to the business. So it may be consulting or in a teaching situation or in a mentor situation. But yeah, I definitely am never going to give it up.
I respect how you shared the essence of everyone has a client base. There were people, and I've heard this said by different entrepreneurs, there were people born to be your client. There were people born to sit under you to help create them to be beautiful through makeup, the art of makeup and things of that nature. So I think it was great how you reiterated that with your answer. I think it's awesome. As a makeup artist, the tasks of your day include waxing services and makeup application. How do you stay inspired and not allow yourself to retreat to a space of viewing your job as a mundane routine?
Oh, man, because I love it. There's no way. There's not been one single day that I haven't, and I've walked in the same building for 21 years, but I wouldn't say same building. I've worked in the same company. I've worked in all this salons. But that I have said I didn't want to be there, or I didn't want to go to work today, or I'm not having a good day at work. That has never crossed my lips, because I have the privilege and the honor to literally play all day dressed up with people and get money. I mean, how many people get to say that they get to play dressed up and people pay them money? To me, it's still baffling. And to me, I always say, I don't know. One day I'm going to get caught that I was playing around the whole time. It's just incredible. So no, I just know mundane. There's absolutely not one day that I don't enjoy doing it. Now, the traffic getting there, or my lifestyle outside of there, where I have to juggle a baby and husband and family and all that. Yeah. That can be some pressure, and that's something that, I have to get in order. But doing my thing, there's not a minute and I don't enjoy it.
What is one thing that you must do every day that keeps you centered and true to Nikole?
Oh, well, I have many things. I guess I could share. Every morning, I put my feet on the floor out of the bed, and that's a late with a 6-month-old. This is about 4:30, but I literally say, "Thank you, God." Just the first words that came out of my mouth, out loud, and "Thank you, God," because I was able to rise. That's my first little thing I do every single day. Second little thing I do every single day is I try to make me a cup of tea or a cup of coffee, and I take the first 3 sips. And I say, this is going to be a great day. This is going to be a great day. I say it 3 times. I feel like when you say things in 3s, you confirm it. You affirm it and confirm it. So I say things in 3. So I say, this is going to be a great day. This is going to be a great day. This is going to be a great day. May it be raining outside. And that's another thing. I'm never really swayed, or my personality does not change because of weather. So if today is going to be 120, it's still going to be a great day. If today is going to storm, thunder, lightning, and cause me to be delayed, it's still going to be a great day. Weather does not dictate my attitude, nor does traffic, nor does any other atmosphere, because ultimately when you said thank you for the day, you have to continue to be thankful for it. So when you find things to nitpick about it, then you didn't choose to be grateful for it, however it comes. So I make sure that it goes along with the threads of the gratitude. It's just to be grateful that I woke up. Because you know what? There was another choice. I didn't have to wake up. But thank goodness I did. And so when I do, then let's make it a great day.
Yes, today will be a great day.
Yeah. And you know what? Don't stress out if, things come across and, when you set the tone, 9 times out of 10, you're going to have a great day because you put it there. And because you're living on this little cloud and nobody else knows you're up there, they kind of want to reach up and say, hey. So, everybody else kind of rises to your kind of uplifted personality that day. That's how I get through my day. But, I'm not all, fruit and daisies and things. Like there's things that come in my life and in my day that can make me quickly say, oh my God, this is a bad day. But guess what? It's not a bad day. It's just how I choose to look at it. Yeah, I could probably have had a fender bender on the way to work, Or when I got in the car, I forgot that I didn't put gas in the car lights on. I'm already running late. And I live in a city that takes you 45 minutes to an hour to get anywhere, so I need to stop for gas and still be late for a meeting. Like, all that stuff happens. But it just depends on if I should choose for it to be still great. Like, okay, I'm so happy, but the gas station is literally a minute from my house. So, yeah, I still need gas, but I can still drop by, get that, and still keep going. You know, you just kind of choose the things to be grateful for, and it turns it all around to still being a good day. And one of the other things I do before I lay my head down is kind of contemplate all the things that actually were good. So I used to actually write them down in a grateful journal, but it kind of got expensive for me to buy these gratitude journals because I really wanted the gratitude journal, the leather bound, like with the lines that said, I am grateful for. You can buy any book and put I am grateful for, but I wanted it to say that. But after a while, I just said, I verbally can say it out loud. I mean, it's me talking to, the universe, God, myself, so it really doesn't need to be written down. And so I always say, today I was grateful for being able to meet a new client or, get to know this client or talk to a person I hadn't talked to in a long time. Like, I literally just, these small little tiny little things you forget that happen throughout your day. You'll say 2 days, oh my God, I forgot to tell you, I got to talk to so-and-so. Well, if you say it at the end of your day and recap your end of the day in your prayer, and if you're not a prayer person and you're just mantra and your affirmation or whatever you do before you go lie your head down, it's really neat to see how much stuff happens in one day that you could actually be like, wow, I got a good old life going on.
Yes, take time to smell the flowers. Very cliche, but very true.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's so true. I promise you.
Nikole, what is your favorite quote and why?
It's funny because I wouldn't say it's inspirational. It's more of like kind of you use it. Most religions, I would say, Southern Baptists and so forth and so on. This too shall pass. I kind of say it a lot for everything. So may it be, I'm at a weight where I don't love. And I have some clothes waiting in my closet to be put on that I really love to wear, and I need to get to that size. I just say, this too shall pass. What I'm going through right now is going to pass because I'm going to get to that new thing. And so I say that a lot, and it's funny that you probably think of it more when you're in a downtrodden situation or you're not feeling so well about about yourself or circumstances. But this too shall pass kind of can work for everything. It's going to pass because it's going to pass in a minute because you get the next breath is another life. The next minute is another life. You kind of resurrect yourself all day.
This too shall pass.
This too shall pass.
Nikole, please share how listeners can get in touch with you.
Well, you can actually give me direct calls at my cell phone, 404-819-4249. Believe it or not, I do take all my private business through that phone number. And then you can contact me at Van Michael Salon in Atlanta, Georgia, and that is 404-237-4664.
And you can find me, Michelle Beatty, at CareerTipper.com. Please subscribe and follow the podcast on Spotify, iTunes, and Stitcher Radio. You can also find me on Instagram and Facebook at Career Tipper and Twitter at Career Tipper1. Thanks for listening.
Thank you for tuning in to this episode of the Career Tipper Podcast. We're grateful for our listeners and guests. For more resources about how to evolve to your professional best, share your comments and feedback about this episode and your suggestions for future guests, visit CareerTipper.com. Until next time, be confidently you.